Hello everybody, hope you're having another blessed day. For today's video we are back at Disney World yet again, ranked all the rides at one of the parks at Disney World. Now, as you can see on the screen right now, we are going to be doing today all the rides that I was able to do at Epcot. Alright, now Epcot is one of my favorite places, you know why? It's all the food there. I love the food there. It has the best food in my opinion there, and if you guys want to see in a future video me ranking a lot of foods in different parks, you never know, it may be coming out. Who knows? But yeah, today we are going to be doing ranking the rides at Epcot. Now, for the rides at Epcot, I was able to do 10 different rides at Epcot. Now, this will be excluding the monorail, because monorail, just like the trains, you're unable to do right now, unfortunately. Alright? So, with that in mind, let's get into number 10. So, number 10 is going to be Canada Far and Wide. Alright? Now, you may think like, hey, is it even a ride? Yeah, it's not really a ride, which is why it's number 10. It's more of a show, and I'm pretty sure it's like these are all the other countries too on Epcot and the whole World Showcase. I'm just not a fan of them, okay? If you guys like to listen to history and learn about new locations, this is a great thing. But there's one aspect about this that just really bugged me, and it's the fact that there was no sitting. Okay, this is like a whole 360 like a TV that screen that plays the whole time, a huge one, like think of a theater that just wraps around all the walls too around you, so you just kind of rotate yourself around. But all they have is some handrails. You just look around basically, and you stand for about a 10 to 15 minute show, and that's a pretty long time to be standing. And it may actually been longer if I don't remember. I kind of blacked out. It was getting dark, but yeah. It was a very long time to be standing, and I'm not a big fan of rides to make you stand the whole time. We already have to stand long enough in line, so why do I want to stand during the ride also? So yeah, since it was not, and also once you watch it, it doesn't really change. Though it does change from year to year as things update, which is really cool. Because these are actually one of the only things at Disney that you will see updating throughout the years. Since, something happens in Canada that's new, or Japan, they'll add it to their kind of showcase show like this, which is really cool to see. But yeah. I don't think you guys will be a fan of having to stand for something like this, especially since it's not a ride. So for that reason, it's going to be number 10. Alright, now number 9 is going to be Living with the Land. Now this is one of my family favorites, and it's a really good ride, but there's some aspects that you may not like. Now, the Living with the Land is a ride that basically you go through and get to see how they quote unquote grow their food at Disney, grow natural foods, how they use new techniques to kind of advance agriculture, even like throughout the world. Some really interesting things going on here. Even growing fish, it's really cool. And they actually use, I'm pretty sure the fish and vegetables they grow here, they actually prepare some of their dishes throughout the parks, which is awesome to see. Now, if you're not a fan of nature or anything like that, and you dare for this to ride rides, yeah, you're probably going to avoid this completely like the plague. And that's perfectly fine. I enjoy it because, it's a nice relaxing ride. And it's a nice, relaxing, long ride. This is like a 10 to 20 minute ride once you get on. I will say the waits are typically no more than like 5 to 20 minutes, depending on what time of day it is, which is great to see at any ride at Disney. But, do you want to be sitting here in a little plane that's going very slow to look at agriculture for 20 minutes? Most people would say no. Now, there are some cool things, if you like looking at Christmas lights, if you go during Christmas time near the dock, they'll have some Christmas lights in the shape of like Mickey Mouse ears throughout the whole enclosure when it's dark inside, which is really cool to see. I'm pretty sure I posted a video on my Epcot stuff. Yeah, it was real nice. We actually came back and saw it. Better than doing it in the day. But a lot of the plants I feel like do not really rotate as much. I feel like I still see the same plants in the same location as I did back when I rode this ride when I was a kid. So I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that is one of the things I would say is kind of a negative if it doesn't update after like a decade. Alright. But yeah. Since I don't think you guys want to watch agriculture when you go to Disney World, it's going to be number 9. Number 8. It's going to be Mission Space. Yeah, you guys are going to get flames on me on this one. But yeah, I do not think Mission Space is a ride as good for everyone. Alright, and let me talk about why it's not good for everyone. Now, if you fit, the keyword fit, on this ride and you feel comfortable in it and stuff like that, I'll say this would be easily a top 5 ride. Easily top 5 ride, probably even top 3 ride at Epcot. But here's the problem. This is where I slapped it down to number 8 real quick. I am 6 foot 3 inches, okay? And this is the problem. One, it was extremely hard for me to get into that ride. Into my little seat, to get into the little pod, like, like rotate the simulator, whole thing. Extremely hard. In fact, because I am big bone, I do work out a lot, I'm muscular, and it's the whole thing there. I could barely fit in the seat, and when it pulled down the strap, it only got like barely past my shoulders. Okay, so one, I didn't feel secure, and one, I felt claustrophobic. I am not a claustrophobic kind of person, but it made me feel claustrophobic because I was basically being squeezed from all sides just to fit in this thing as it was being jerked and shaken and stuff like that. And I'm not there for that, okay? I go Disney. I want a cool, fun, enjoyable time. I don't want to be squished into a little pod that I can have to bring my arms together and suck in my shoulders just to fit in. That is not fun. And I feel like, because other people probably had the same problem, I cannot make to say this is a very good ride, one everyone should do, okay? So for that reason, it has to be 8. Disney, make your seats bigger for the everyday person because, average height for men is 5'10". 4 or 5 inches should not be that big of a difference, in my opinion. All right, number ranting. On to number 7. Number 7 is going to be The Seas with Nemo and Friends. I'll say this is probably, besides Mission Space, I just hate that ride, period, because of the whole experience I had. This is going to be my second least favorite ride, but I feel like one, the everyday person would probably actually enjoy, at least more than that one. Now, The Seas of Nemo and Friends is basically a ride. You get into a big shell car, and it slowly rotates you around. You get to see the screens, and basically it kind of goes through the story of Nemo real quickly, with some animatronics and stuff popping out. It's real cute. Now, there are some things I don't like about it. All right. Before we do that, though, there are some benefits. One, it has a very, very short wait time. We basically walk straight onto the carts, which is great. And it's been like that for a while since, it is an older ride, which is cool. And also, after the ride, you basically add a aquarium, which is really cool to see. And it's a very decent aquarium, There are some hidden Mickeys in there. There's some dolphins, some sharks. Love to see that stuff. And you get to learn more about how like scuba divers are like taking care of the fish tanks and learn more about the stuff. There's little shows and educational stuff there. The sea, like the aquarium parts, were really nice. But there's two things I don't like. One, if I wanted to go to an aquarium, I would have gone to an aquarium. I'm at Disney. I don't care to stick around to watch the fish. Okay. A lot of families do. I don't see why. I don't think you should either. It's a waste of time. And another thing I don't like about it is that how it works if like Nemo telling us to tell Nemo is that they're moving around on like all the screens throughout the whole thing. So there was points in time where you have nothing in front of you and it's almost like a black screen with no like Nemo, Marlin, or Dory on there. Okay, they'll down like 6 feet to your right in front of someone else and then just shoot back across yours too to come back to yours. I'm not a fan of that, okay? I feel like that could be done better because when I'm on a ride, I don't want to have a blank screen waiting for my turn to be watching. I want something to happen at the whole entire time. I want to be engaged the whole time instead of having to wait for my turn. So because of that, it has to be number 7. I mean, disagree, but that's just my opinion. All right, and I feel like you guys would like too. Number 6 is going to be Soarin' around the world. Now I do have some beef with Soarin'. Okay. One, Soarin' used to be the best ride at Epcot, the most popular ride. The one used to have 2-hour waits, 3-hour waits, that whole thing. Before Test Track came into business, before Frozen Ever After, he even beat out Mission Space for a while. I think Soarin's overrated, and you should too. One, Soarin' has not changed its kind of screens, its show, since it came out, which I think is ridiculous since there's so much potential. Basically, Soarin' is a ride. You basically get into a giant glider and it kind of takes you up to the screen, has the wind blowing in your face, and it makes you feel like you're gliding over like the pyramids, Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall of China, that kind of stuff. But it hasn't changed, and I don't understand why. There's so many amazing things in the world. I feel like they should definitely have it on a rotation. Say, oh, during this month, we're going to the Middle East, so this time we're in the Wild West, old Wild West. Yeah, they even go back in history and look at some old events going on. That would be phenomenal and definitely make this ride a lot more fun. But all this ride is right now, though, is you get to look at the screen. It brings you up in a seat. Doesn't really tilt you forward at all, and blows wind in your face. So to me, that's not the greatest experience, especially after you rode it once or twice. Then you kind of know what to expect, and it's boring. All right, so for that reason, it's gonna be number 6. Number 5 is going to be the Three Caballeros. Now, I actually really like the Three Caballeros. It's actually one of my favorite rides in Epcot. Now, I will say the Three Caballeros is basically set up exactly like Small World. Alright? But I like this more than Small World because, one, it's basically the exact same song in Spanish. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of the songs actually is Spanish. I know some Spanish and stuff like that. And I swear, when I was in that ride, and Idle Times 2, I do pretty sure they are singing like It's a Small World after all, but it's in Spanish. And I like it more, it has a better tune. I love the Spanish trumpet and guitar going on. Just love to hear that stuff, okay? Now, there's supposed to be the tale about how like they're trying to find, I think, Donald. Yeah, Donald Duck. He's out there in Mexico, traveling throughout Mexico, trying to find him and his two other friends. I don't know what the rooster and parrot's name are. I just know Donald Duck. And that's basically what the tale's supposed to be. But it's also a time kind of showing you the history of Mexico. And it actually is one of the only rides that actually goes through like actually a ride at one of the worlds, which is really interesting. I feel like each world or country, should have their own ride, but they just have not done that. Don't know why, but they just haven't. But yeah, it's very enjoyable if you want to hear some history, some good music. Definitely jump on this ride. It's cool, relaxing, always a short line. You can find inside the pyramid. Do recommend. All right, on to number 4. Number 4 is going to be Spaceship Earth. Now, Spaceship Earth, I'll tell you right now, is the most beneficial ride if you want to get on something anytime you want. Okay, this to me always has no line, ever. I've never seen this thing above a 25-minute wait. That's when it was packed parks before COVID, like 2 years ago. Never over 25. In the summer too. Never over 25 minutes. Now I will say, one downside is this is a very long ride. All right. How this ride works, basically, it acts like a time machine. You go on one of these little carts here, and it brings you up to the top of like the ball. This actually is what's inside of the giant golf ball at Epcot, in case you didn't know. Okay, it is actually a ride. You go inside, and it goes all the way back for like the history of like the world. You go through Egypt, you go through like the Roman, go through the Renaissance, you go through like the modern era, like the Cold War, stuff like that. You get back to modern era, and it kind of talks about how the future is in all control. So how would you want the future to be? And it gives you kind of like a game you can play on the touch screen, making your own future. It's really cool. All right. Now, yeah, the only downside is though this is like a 10 to 15 minute wait. Ride. So it is a long ride, but that's fine. 10 to 50 minutes ain't gonna kill you. But another downside is how often it breaks down. And I say this is an extremely old ride that I feel like constantly needs to be fixed. And when it gets fixed, like you're just stuck there. And it has been evacuated before. Not on us, but it has happened before. So because this is an older ride, I feel like up here it's outdated, and they haven't really updated the ride in like a long, long time. I think it stopped like back when they had like in like 1960s, 1970s. I feel like that's when it stopped history. So for that reason, it's gonna be number 4. But now we are finally into our top 3. In my opinion, what I feel like you guys would enjoy as a family, as a group, whoever. And number 3, you may be surprised by it. It's my opinion, Figment Imagination. Now, I may be like, there's no way this is better than Mission Space, and this is actually ride people were talking about before, maybe taken out and replaced. And I feel like that is ridiculous, and this should not, because this is one of the best rides at Epcot. There is no other ride that acts like the function of Spaceship Earth, has the function of, what am I thinking of? Nemo and Friends. That whole thing, yeah, while also having the 5D experience, because this is a ride that basically goes through all of your senses while you're riding it. You have the loud sound, you practice your sides, has a catchy tune, has some funny smells, there's a part you get sprayed by skunk smell. And I feel like as a family, kids enjoy that scene, and after the ride, well, that's your area you get to test a bunch of scientific stuff, which is really cool to see. It's a lot of fun little kids games. Right now you can't do it because of COVID. But this area I feel like is awesome, and it's a great thing. If you have younger kids, they will love this area for sure. So yeah, for all families out there with young kids, this is going to be in your top 3. It has to be. If you haven't done it before, definitely head over to there. Now down number 2. Number 2 may surprise you. I say number 2 is going to be Test Track. A lot of people will love to put Test Track as the best ride at Epcot. It is the best ride. But is it the best ride, the best experience? No. And there are a couple aspects that for me is why. First one, even though it's a great ride, is the wait time. I rode this once when I was there during COVID, and it had a 4-hour wait. Yeah, no fast passes, a 4-hour wait. This thing was marked back to almost Norway. It felt like, okay? And Norway's pretty far away from Test Track. So, in all, my opinion, I don't feel like you guys enjoy having to wait 4 hours in line to ride a 2-minute ride. Alright? So I'm going to say definitely not on that. If it was a fast pass, go for it. For sure, it would be your best one. But there is a second factor that this makes it so I cannot make it number one. And that's going to be because it did not work in the weather. Because in the final aspect right there, you ride outside in the open. Get the wind in your face. It's really cool. You go up to 60 miles per hour, hitting those quick turns. It's amazing. Love it. But if there is rain going on, there's lightning, they will shut down the ride completely. Alright? So, since it does have the potential of being a ride that can shut down depending on how the day is going weather-wise, I cannot make it number one. Because all the other rides, I believe, at Epcot can work during the rain. They're all indoors. This is the only one that takes you outdoors. So, for that reason, it's number two. Now, number one, as you can see, is going to be Frozen Ever After. This is, to me, is the best ride, okay? One, families are going to love it. Kids, they love this ride. This is like top-notch animatronics and movement. The songs are great. The songs are catchy. You hate Frozen songs, yeah, you're probably not going to like this ride, but I think the songs are very catchy. And it actually has a little bit of a thrill. This is like a level 2 thrill ride. There was an aspect, one, you go down basically a waterfall backwards. When Elsa says the whole Let It Go part aspect of her song, and you probably heard me singing that in the video, which, have the voice of an angel apparently. But yeah, it was a very cool drop. And then near the end, you have a waterfall drop straight down. It's actually a decent drop too. So, they do throw some thrills out there for like the other parts of the family. You have the songs and the characters that kids will love, and you have a little bit of the thrills and drops that like the adults will love. So it kind of hits both aspects, both age groups. So for that reason, it is going to be the number one ride. And it's a decent length. It's about 3 to 4 minutes, which is really cool to have. I think they close to 5 minutes. And the lines aren't killer. You may have an hour and a half line, but if you go there at the start of your day, you can walk straight on easy. It's usually about 11 o'clock, so hitting an hour plus. Okay, so hit this ride early in your day, you won't regret it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for that. That's all of the rides I rode at Epcot ranked. The worst one by far was of course the Canada World and all the stuff like that, because they can't update, but you're not really much to ride. But the best one is still Frozen Ever After. You just gotta let it go, because the storm never bothered me anyways. But yeah, since we just finished doing Epcot, what we have stored for the last one, there's one more park we have not done, and that is going to be in the next video, the ranking of all the rides at Animal Kingdom. Now, if that's going to do it for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because it helps you support me and helps me make more videos for you to enjoy. Also, go down to the comment section and share what your own thoughts are on what your favorite rides at Epcot are. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Tell me about it in the comment section. I'd love to hear about it. Alright, now with that, you know what time it is. Hope the rest of the week is blessed, and I hope to see you again in the next video. And with that, I'm out.